everyone. My name is Al Abdu, and my group and I are covering the concept of the science in Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is a TV show where a drunk genius that goes by the name of Rick and a anxious, not so smart 14-year-old that goes by the name of Morty, and they go on adventures to different universes, and they cause problems and get into a lot of trouble, but in the end there's always a lesson to be learned. One of the first things is, so Rick and Morty is, a lot of people watch Rick and Morty to like get away from reality, and a lot of scientists also watch it as well because they like really enjoy how it bends the truth and like how they portray science. Yeah, so they go through concepts such as cloning and portals. And like they play around with it to the point where like everyone's really comfortable with it. And the first concept that we'll be talking about is cloning.
Hello, I'm Nadra. Cloning is the process of producing identical individuals or organisms, either naturally or artificially. During Rick and Morty, during the ABCs of Beth, Rick tells Beth, "You're not my own daughter," meaning that there are more Beths than just that one Beth that he was talking about. And during that one episode, one version was using different vocabulary and words. Rick made the clone of Beth have different characteristics, and he made her feel more empathy towards Jerry, and the other Beths were very different than the first Beth.
Another concept they cover is also portals, guns, and wormholes.
So the interesting thing that you see in this cartoon, it was my first time that I see this cartoon, and it was really interesting to me. And I think the most interesting part is when they shoot by gun, a hole will open and they can travel to other universe through this hole. As we see in most of the cartoons back in the days, like old days, it's they receive a video call in their watches and their phones. It was like a dream in past days, but now it's a reality nowadays. By this, we will know that it's a reality. It's a dream right now, but it will become a reality in the future. So in Rick and Morty, they didn't mention what kind of knowledge is behind this. So as I researched, I came up with wormholes. The wormhole theory is, next one. Yeah. The wormhole theory is that there's two, even if we remove Earth and everything, there's still something that called space. We have a space, and with the space, there's another Einstein. I don't know exactly what is his name. He came up with there's another. What happened?
You're talking about Einstein?
Einstein, yeah. Einstein. He mentioned.
Shoot him.
Okay.
Okay, you may continue.
Okay. He mentioned that there's not space is not single. It have time with it. So when we break these two rules, we can create a wormhole. Wormhole like this. So the idea behind this gun is it create a wormhole. It break the laws of physics and connect two spaces together. By this wormhole, we can travel to spaces very fast. So,
I'm going to talk issues of science. The Rick and Morty briefly talk about the misuse and misrepresentation of science for religious agenda. It's basically, they were basically referencing how some extreme religious people puts religion above the science. The difference between science and religion is that science is willingness to change its theory, laws, and rules as per the evidence, but people who are extremely religious believe otherwise. They don't want to, despite showing the evidence, they don't want to believe that. They just want to believe in religion even though it's not a fact. Also, for instance, there is a group called Young Earth Creationism. It's a group of people, especially like people who believe in Christian religion. They believe that the earth was created 6 to 10,000 years ago. However, that's not a fact, even though the fact is that the earth was created 4.5 billion years ago, and there is evidence, but they don't believe that. Not only that, they don't even want to believe in evolution and believe that and all the human beings and all the creatures in the universe was on the earth was created by God. Not only those particular group of people, but there are like several groups of extremely religious people who believe the earth was created by God and all the living beings here are created by the God. For instance, I was doing some research and it says that around 26% of American Catholic they don't believe in science, they just solely believe in God, and they don't believe in evolution, they believe in earth, human being was created by earth. Also, I was doing some more research and found out that around 64% of almost third of the white evangelicals, they are extreme. They don't believe in science at all. They mostly believe in God. They put religion all above the science, and that's the fact. We use science every day in our daily life, and all those people who deny science also use the science, the product created by science every day, but they don't want to believe that. And I have seen people like myself. I know one person personally who is really into religion, and one time it's kind of like true stories. One time her sister's hands got fractured, and they went to hospital. They did some plastic surgery and whatever. And after she got healed, she gave the credit to the God. She was like, oh, because of her prayer, because of the grace of the God, her sister's hand was created. But she didn't want to admit the fact that her sister was due to the science, not because of her prayer.
The video I'm sorry, I forgot to show you a video about the wormhole. So we won't see a video. Yeah. Sound. Yes, please. Sound. Cut through a wormhole.
Wormholes. These tunnels through space have long been a feature of science fiction movies, allowing people to travel vast distances across the universe that would otherwise take billions of years. But do wormholes even exist? And if so, could we ever travel through one? From Einstein's theory of general relativity, the idea came about that two black holes could be connected through a wormhole, a theoretical shortcut through space-time, also known as the Einstein-Rosen bridge.
So they say you want to go from here to there. It's too far. So a wormhole bends space like this, so you can take a shortcut through a higher dimension.
But there are two main reasons why traveling through them would be tricky. The first problem is that they wouldn't be big enough for us. It's predicted that if wormholes do exist, they would most likely be microscopic in size. The second problem is that even if one was big enough, it would most likely be highly unstable. The walls of the tunnel of a wormhole attract each other. If you don't do something to prevent this, the walls of the tunnel will collapse, making traveling through it impossible. You would need some exotic matter which contains negative energy to repel the gravitational forces in order to keep it open. Even if this could be added to stabilize a wormhole, it is far beyond today's technology. The laws of physics suggest you would not be able to put enough negative energy into a wormhole to prevent it from collapsing, but scientists have yet to prove this. So traveling through wormholes could still be possible, but it is highly unlikely. If we wanted to travel across the stars, we might have to take the long route.
Yeah, like I said before, this is one of the concepts that Rick and Morty bends frequently, and that will be all. These are the 3 topics that we covered in our Science of Rick and Morty presentation. Any questions?
So my question is for Vinay, and I've heard how you related religion and science.
But there is always, I'm not talking about like every people who are religious doesn't believe in science, but there are a group of certain people who are super religious, who are really extremely religious, that they believe everything was created by God. I'm not talking about whole generalized.
That's my question.
Yeah.
So you related it with your personal experience, right?
Not, I have seen that also, and there's like research as well, you know.
Okay, so which one do you believe personally? Like, is it so which one do you believe personally?
Oh, what do you mean? Like, I believe in science more than religion because it's a fact and there's evidence, but I don't believe in religion.
Is that because you understand everything around you with the science perspective, or?
No, I see mostly as evidence-based fact, you know. Okay.
I'm done.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm getting really lost in this presentation, just going back and forth. What is the uncertainty principle slide? Is that like a...
Oh, that's
That's right.
Oh,
okay.
yeah. Does that have a problem?